Hi everybody, I'm Eric Beck and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to show you how to replace a broken arm on your Mavic Mini. My Mavic Mini crashed and broke the front left arm. That's the one we're going to be replacing. I bought a new Mavic Mini arm, and for this project you're going to need a few tools. You're going to need a micro Phillips screwdriver. This was a 00. You're also going to need some tweezers for this job. You're going to need a soldering iron, some solder, and a tool to pry the body apart. Let's get started on this. You're going to first start out by removing the battery, and I already did mine, the memory card, and we're going to start off by removing 4 screws that are on the bottom. So let's do that. That's 4 right there. Now make sure not to lose your screws. Set them aside. Do not lose them. Okay, and then we're going to pry the body off now that we got the 4 screws off. So we'll go around and start prying at this body. Oops, okay, so I just broke a clip right there, as you can see, on accident. So just try not to break any clips. So it's obviously not easy, but it is starting to come apart. Like I said, take your time with it. Try to be a little bit gentle. I'm putting some force on this and we're gonna end up breaking something. I think I broke another clip there. I'm not sure if you could see that, but I kind of broke that one there. I don't want to keep breaking clips. These clips are pretty freaking good on this thing. I mean, it's keeping the whole craft together still. I thought this would go faster, but it's not. Oh boy. Okay, so the struggle continues. Okay, finally, I took it off. Now you could see some clips broke, sort of. Clip here broke, clip here broke. But I think it's gonna be okay. And then the next thing to do is to remove the arm. So we've got these 2 screws here. We're going to remove the screws, and then we're going to push on this metal thing right here, which is going to pop out this thing. All right, so let's unscrew it. And then we just push this out. Okay, pushes it out, and it brings it up. And now you can remove this part. Push it a little bit more. There it went. Okay. Now this thing's really important because you're going to, when you put it back on, you're going to want to have it in like semi-open position. Now notice it has a flat edge and a round edge. There's a flat edge here and then a rounded edge here. So take note of that, that's the way it's gonna go. All right, so we're gonna be soldering these 3 cables, and you'll notice that the cables have a W for white, B for black, and R for red there, so you don't get confused. Also, you'll note that across from it, it's also laid out the same white, black, red, so in case you unsolder and you forget. All right, so we have to take this off, and then there is also an antenna that needs to come off, and that's going to come off from this top part. So we have to remove this part. So that's going to be a couple of screws. I believe these ones down here. So we're going to remove those. Okay, so that'll be these two screws, I believe. All right, so that's those two screws there came off. And now we could start prying off this part. So lift this. And I'm going to use my prier to sort of go around prying this off. And it's not easy. It's very thin plastic, so I don't want to like bend it so much that I crack it, you know? So just want to be gentle. And I'm just pushing in, and it's sort of unlocking itself. Oops. Be very careful. It's very thin plastic. And I can see this. Ooh, okay, cool. There, finally came off. I'll put that aside. And now the next thing is to remove this heat sink. Okay, so there's another screw there that needs to come off. And that thing, I believe, has a warranty void sticker. Well, when I bought this, I didn't get offered the extended service plan or anything like that. I didn't even know about it until after it was too late. So anyway, there's looks like there's two more screws right here that also need to come off. So we'll take those off. Use our pliers to get them out of there because I don't want to lose them. Put those aside. Okay, cool. All right, so here you go. You've got the thermal paste there. You're going to leave that on. Okay, and now we're going to start taking off this drone arm. So if you look, you can see that the wires come in here, they hook up here, but there's this gray wire that goes along this channel and comes out on the other side that you need to unplug. And it's one of the antennas, I believe. All right, so we're just going to pry that off. It comes off easily. And then sort of fish it in there. Fish it through. Okay, so that's off. And what we have to do now is we have to unsolder these three. Melt this. Okay. Now we can just pull the arm out. Comes right out. All right, cool. Now the next step is going to be to clean up this solder, this old solder. And to do that, I've got one of these. It's like a little sucking mechanism. You press down on this plunger, it locks, and then when I release the plunger, it will suck the solder up. So we're going to prime it and then just heat up the old solder, and once it turns liquid, it'll suck it up. And there you go. Okay, cool. Okay, and it's going to go like this. So we're going to just feed this antenna and everything back in. Now, this can be a pain, but basically it's hard to turn this, and what you want to do is get like a pair of pliers to grab it and then these will go in there and you're going to turn it, okay? But you can't crush, don't, this is very soft metal, so don't smash it. And I'm going to hold on to this, not too hard. And I'm going to turn it so that it's like halfway between open and close, okay? So I'm going to turn it like this. And it's really hard right now, so we want to be like halfway. So there we go. We want to find this sort of sweet spot where it's going to stay in the in-between position, because it either wants to go all the way open or all the way closed. So the problem is getting it to stay. Make sure that the pin goes through. Okay, you see it's all the way in now, and it's in this sort of halfway open position. So you just want to test that, make sure it works. And it won't work. See, it's not staying open or closing. It's just kind of in the wrong position. So that's one of the major problems you're going to run into when you do this. So let's push that back out and get it lined up again. Now we can put it back in. Okay, so it's sliding in. Make sure that hole lines up. Make sure this cable isn't getting caught. Okay, it's all the way in. Now we could test it out. Okay, now it opens and it closes with that spring load. Okay, so that was the hard part. We got through that. So now we just screw that part back in. Okay. All right, now we could turn this around. All right, and now we've got to fish this cable back on through, and as you can see, there's that channel that the antenna goes through. So we will fish it in there, fish it through, and also try to be careful not to touch that thermal paste too much. Okay, all right, and then this is going to go back into the circuit board here. Make sure it's pressed on there, okay, and then make sure the cable routes well. Now, the final step is going to be to solder these guys on. And as you can see, it says W, B, and R, so you don't get confused. So we're going to put some solder on here. Here we go. I'm pretty sure I did a bad soldering job, because if you can see, solders, these might be touching here. So you don't want that. You don't want that to touch. So we're going to remove that. Again, we're going to use our suction tool. Prime it. And I'm just going to remove. Okay, so I think I got it. Oh, I think that's touching. Okay, and that's pretty much it. All right, so now that we got this on, let's put the heatsink back on. Two screws. We get this plate back on. Okay, so this goes back on. Just push it back on. Back in. Okay, and then let's put these two screws back in. Screw that in. Okay, next is the top lid. All right, and then this goes back on. Okay, cool, and then those 4 screws go back on. We're almost finished. That is nice. Okay, cool. So next thing to do is to swap out the propellers. And that's easy peasy. Unscrew it, keep the screw, and transfer it over. The second hole is threaded. Keep that on. Okay, cool. All right, all we gotta do is we gotta put in our battery. All right, and let's start her up. Let's take this off. Okay. Ooh. Wow, I almost crashed into the camera. It's flying, guys. Look at me, yay. Hey, look at that. It's working. I thought I would have fried it for sure, but I did it myself. Well, we got it done. If you got any value from this video, please give it a thumbs up, share it, subscribe, do all that good stuff. I hope you guys got a lot out of that. I hope it helps you. Good luck, and I'll see you on the next video.